If you're tired of dead end conversations on dates or them just feeling like an interview, this video is for you. We're going to go over some of the best topics to talk about to actually hit it off with them, how they can reduce nervousness too, and a whole lot more. Now, the standard go-to thing to first talk about on a date is to dig into what you already know about them. This could be based on past conversations or information from your dating profile. Like, it may be obvious, but these are things they probably like and can talk a lot about, which is great for getting them to open up. So any hobbies mentioned or anything that you know that she's into, maybe you saw on one of her profile pictures that she went on a trip somewhere, just that sort of thing. And of course, it's even better if it's something that you can actually talk a lot about yourself. But now, real quick, I don't know if this is a problem with me and my ADHD mind, but I used to really struggle when I was talking to somebody, especially on a date, that my mind would go in different directions for trying to figure out where the conversation can flow to. What's the next thing I can talk about or I can bring up or the next question to ask. And when I started actually not paying attention to that and just really listening to them, it just made it so much easier. I was able to understand them, whatever it was that they're talking about, what they were feeling. And it actually created like intrigue for me to dig deeper, for me to, find out more about what they're talking about and asking like the right questions than just being so outside of my head, not in the moment, analytical, and just trying to figure out what's the best thing to say or do or whatever that. So if you can relate at all to that, basically what I'm saying here is just try to be in the moment. I do have topics that I'm going to suggest that are good for you to talk about. But the main thing is to, just keep them at the back of your mind in case you want to, avoid any awkward silences. But other than that, the main thing, just be in the moment and try to enjoy it. But now, and I'll tell you why in a second, but it's really important that you're as open as you can possibly be. Like even if I was into, I haven't tried it, but even if I was into Dungeons and Dragons, like I would own that shit. I would completely be willing to share that bit of information if an opportunity presented itself. I mean, I'd probably laugh a bit at myself since it's like the nerdiest hobby in the world, but I'd explain how I love the community aspect or getting together with friends or the creativity involved. Them seeing you passionate and excited about something is going to be way more impactful than you just casually mentioning that you like basketball or that you like to go rock climbing. Like, you're telling them why, and that just really helps your personality to come out. Now, the last part is just the go-to set of questions and things to keep it in the back of your mind, just locked and loaded if there's an opportunity to ask. So one of the, a great thing, and I also like this as a opener with dating apps, but asking them if there's anything that they're looking forward to right now. That one's really cool. And then other than that, I mean, like about their career or if they're going to school, why they did that, open-ended questions, any shows or movies or music that they're into. Because, especially, as mundane, as basic as like shows and movies and media, if you both, like the same stuff, that's an option for like a really deep conversation. So for me, like, I'm watching Lower Decks. I'm really into 90s music. That's probably a big one. I mean, I'm big into YouTube right now. I don't know if I would mention I have like a dating advice channel, but fortunately I'm at least in a relationship, so I don't have to deal with that right now. But now I know a lot of guys will want to flirt or tease or do any of that kind of stuff. Like, that's kind of like advanced. Like, you're just adding to the things that might make it more difficult for you to, be comfortable and not be nervous. So don't worry about that. I mean, the main thing is just like for the conversation not to be dry. You can create a spark from that. You can create interest. You can create, for her to like really like you and to be thinking about you and to enjoy it and to want to, meet up with you again, just from having good conversation. That's like your number one priority. So to summarize, have a handful of these topics ready just in case. Be as upfront about yourself as you possibly can, because I mean, if they're like meant for you, they might not even know. They might not know how well you can connect because you're just kind of having a mask and you're just kind of acting like how you think you should. And finally, start the date off, or at any point, just kind of dig deeper into what you already know about them. That's it. And once you have just a little bit of experience, all this goes out the window. Well, not all of it. You should still be yourself. But the basics of it is just you're going out with somebody and your goal is to just have an enjoyable time and a good talk. You don't need anything else. You don't need to really, like, it's good to have some things in the back of your mind like this, But again, once you have experience and you're not really super nervous, it can actually be like quite fun. Like I haven't been in like on a date in like 10 years. But I ended up finding I was very, very nervous in the beginning. Oh man. I remember this one, like my leg was shaking. My leg was just like shaking the table, and she was asking about that. And like I actually, like, I have a messed up leg. I've had like 6 surgeries on it already, but I just blamed it on that because I mean, I'm sure she saw right through that. But like I was very, very nervous, and then like it didn't take maybe like 4 or 5 dates, first dates, and then it just like I was really looking forward to them, even though I didn't always they didn't always work out, of course, but they can be pretty fun. And it's like also you're really developing your social skills at the same time, which is great. So go on them as much as you can. Don't really care if they fail, because you're not doing anything wrong necessarily when you fail. I mean, that's a whole topic of itself, of just understanding, a successful date is one, can be one that fails, because you're finding out that they're not, you're not interested in them essentially. And that's something a lot of guys kind of miss. And it's like, you're just kind of thinking, oh, I need to please them, or not please them, but I hope that, you really hope that they like you, and they hope that, this or that, and that you said or did the right thing. But anyways, I'm getting off tangent here. Just keep these things in mind. If it's, your first dates, just to help, prioritize what matters. But otherwise, that's probably about it. I have, if you still need some extra help, I have some information in the description. I offer kind of relatively inexpensive coaching options for guys one-on-one if you need the help. But otherwise, I will talk to you next week. Peace.